Hey guys, welcome back to Everyday Dad. Today we're going to be making a DIY peat moss and mulch spreader. So stick with me and we're going to head off to Lowe's and pick up the supplies we need. If you enjoyed the video and my content, please give me a like and subscribe for future videos. I got a couple helpers along the way. Get a bag of this here. Which one to buy for the peat moss spreader? 1/2 inch plug down there. I think we'll go with the 1 inch by 1/2 inch plug. Seems a lot more sturdy. 19 bucks. And we'll go and grab 4 of these. There you go, Weston.
Yep, we got 45.
Thank you, bud. We'll go ahead and get 2 of these. Alright, so after a quick trip to Lowe's, I think we got what we need. Make my creation come to life as far as our peat moss spreader. So, got a board, some wood I had laying around the house. Cage wire, a couple PVC fittings. I went with 1.5 inches. I think that'll be sturdy enough to make a handle, and as well as axle shaft. And then I had a little bit of scrap wood laying around. So all in, I'm about 40 bucks. Fortunately, I didn't have to buy lumber, otherwise it'd be a little more pricey. All right, so now that I got everything I need, my idea is to make something fairly similar to the Landzie compost and peat moss spreader. So if you've seen that, it's like a barrel drum. The handle you just push along after you load the peat moss, and it spreads it for you. So what I want to do is cut a couple circles out of this board. Use those as your exterior structure. Wrap them with wire. Stick the PVC through as a axle shaft, as well as building your handle out of that, and come up with some type of door to be able to remove from the barrel to put the peat moss in, and then put it back in and roll away. So I'm gonna get some of this stuff out of the way and get started with the build process. So enjoy the video. Here I am going to mark out and cut 2 circles 20 inches in diameter. I would try to stay close to this size as it worked well for this project.
One wheel.
Voila! One down. Take a second, and after had one hit me in the eye, it reminded me that I didn't have safety glasses on. So. Now I'm going to cut out 3 support legs. These will give support to the cylinder and act as paddles to help break up the peat moss or mulch as you roll along. The cage wire I'm using is 31 inches wide, so I'll make my cuts to accommodate the size. Don't forget to subtract the width of the outer disc before making your cuts. That way your total width fits within the wire. Alright, so I'm working on layout. I was trying to think of how to split circles into thirds, and I don't have a protractor, so I can't go off the angle like 120, 120, 120. So anyways, came up with my own little hack. So I printed a circle in thirds off of Google, and then extended the lines off of it. Just that way, it'll give me a good kind of rough area of where to lay out my supports here.
When adding the cage wire, it can be a bit tricky. To keep it straight, the best method for me was to staple every 6 or so inches, then go back and fill in the rest. Doing this helped me keep the wire from shifting in either direction. I also allowed for about a 3-inch overlap of the wire. That way the mulch or peat moss wouldn't slip in between and come out in clumps.
Idea now is just to drill a hole straight through and use my piece of PVC pipe as an axle. Alright, there she is. It's actually turned out way cooler than I kind of expected it to, so I'm pretty happy with it so far. Just gotta get a couple fittings on the end. Got our pipe here as an axle, and we'll get those fittings on, cut, and build ourselves a little handle to push it. So get started on that now. Okay. These never ever open. Sometimes even they don't even want to open when they're new. It's like the almighty glue guns. I don't know if they put on the things. As soon as you use it once. Holy crap. Blue's still only good enough for this. It's kind of gelatinous.
This is where I made my mistake with this project. Definitely make sure you take the time to dry fit everything before you get excited and go ahead and put the glue on like I did. So I got it all glued up. Dad walked in and distracted me, and by the time I realized the fittings were a little bit out of square, it was way too late.
You know, if it doesn't work out, you can always put a crank on one side and have one of those bingo things.
What?
What do they call it? A raffle. That's what it is. It's a raffle. Raffle drum.
Pretty much.
Yeah. A little door on there.
So when you're putting it together, take a little extra time to make sure that your 90-degree elbows are parallel with each other, because I got them in a glue set too quick for me to fix them, but they're a little bit cockeyed, but should still work for what I'm doing.
Later I'll come back and cut that center axle and add a coupling. That way I can straighten it all out.
That's going to drive me nuts. Eventually I'm going to have to remake this, because being kind of square is going to drive me nuts. But let's go try it out real quick. I think we're gonna have a pretty good little working mulch spreader here, so very happy with this so far. Can't stand the dirty workspace, so just a little bit of cleanup. Alright, now to tackle this door situation. Pick a spot and start making something. There she is. So, got the pipe going through the center, 2-round disc, the PVC handle to give her a push, and then for loading, I plan on improving this, but just for the video and seeing how well this works, we're just going to go ahead and go with the cut opening. So I cut the opening, very pokey, very sharp. So I'll be adding a door to this, and then but for now we'll just close that up, put some tie wire, and let it rip. All right, what a beautiful day to give this thing a shot. So I'm gonna go ahead and load up the peat moss spreader and just do 1 or 2 passes. I don't really want to mulch over my yard yet this year. The irrigation doesn't come on for another couple weeks in my community, and I want to reseed and dethatch the yard first. So I'm going to go ahead and do a video on that process as well. If you guys are trying to get your yard ready for the spring, keep an eye out. That will be coming out in the near future. And I also have to get some concrete work repaired before I do that as well. So you want to look here. My whole front stoop here is sinking about 1.5 inches. And we're going to go ahead and jack that up and do that repair. And I'm going to have to dig up all this grass. So I want to do that before we do the reseeding process. I'll do a video on that process as well.
Let's go ahead and load this up. So I found out later that it's much easier just to hold the bag upside down and give it a bit of a shake, and it all goes right in. For now, we'll be using tie wire to go ahead and close the door, but I will be adding a hinge system and making this a little bit more professional. However, this works for the video.
Alright, so this time we loaded up with a full bag of peat moss. So it's just about a little over halfway full. I think you could fit about 1.5 bags in here if you wanted. I'll give her a rip.
Wow, look at that thing go. I was extremely happy with how this DIY project turned out. After 2 passes across my yard, like 2.5 passes, I had exhausted a bag of peat moss. I had also gotten all the sticks, twigs, and dirt clods out of the mix. So it did exactly what it's supposed to do, and it gave it pretty good coverage as well. While working on this project, my little guy Weston has mastered the walker, so, well, kind of mastered. He looks a little drunk sometimes. But if you like my videos, please give me a like and subscribe. My content will only get better. I'm pretty new to this, and I enjoy every like that you guys give me, and please follow along for more projects with Everyday Dad.
Keep going. Keep going. Hold on to it. There you go.
Go Weston boy! Woo, buddy! Yeah! Doing it, huh?
You're so proud of yourself, huh?
So funny.
Oh, you gonna go to the hard floor to walk on? This one's gonna be a lot harder, buddy.
It's like, holy crap, it's going fast. So, alright, Mom. No more crawling. I just had to push this thing everywhere. Oh, man.